Hi, everybody. So today we're doing my worst movies of 2022. And I know some people don't like doing these worst movies, but I think it's important to show the whole scope of the whole year. And there's nothing against anybody who's in these movies. It's just my personal taste and what I didn't care for. And there's actually some really popular movies on here that I didn't enjoy. So let's talk about my bottom 12. At number 12, I have the Netflix Persuasion. There was no chemistry. They completely ruined the character, didn't follow her at all, made Anne Elliot this like wine drunk that's spilling wine on her head. And it just wasn't Persuasion, and it wasn't the characters, and there was no chemistry. And it was trying really hard to be meta and funny, and it just failed completely. So it's my number 12. At number 11, I have Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. I know a lot of people really enjoyed this. It probably going to get nominated for Best Picture, but I did not like it at all. I thought that every scene was exposition dump after exposition dump. I thought it was all very obvious. I didn't think the humor was funny. I didn't like any of the characters. It was a chore to me to sit through. It was not nearly as clever or entertaining or as good a mystery as the first one. It was just overall incredibly disappointing. I really didn't like it. So it's my number 11. My number 10 is Cheaper by the Dozen. I just thought every way they tried to make this modern was super cringy, and the whole plot with Zach Braff's character building this restaurant, it was just really boring and didn't go anywhere. It was just a bad script. I think everybody was trying, but yeah, it made the Steve Martin ones look great, which they're not great, but it made them a lot better than this. Then a movie I saw at Sundance called When You Finish Saving the World, I thought was absolutely terrible. And you have Julianne Moore in this kind of relationship with this young man that was just or trying to pursue this relationship, and it was really cringy. If that had been a man playing the same part, it would not nobody would approve of it. And I don't know, I just thought that it's been a long time since I saw this one, but I really didn't like it. I didn't buy that Finn Wolfhard would be charismatic enough or good enough at singing to be able to be this YouTube person. That didn't feel authentic to me. Pretty much none of it did. I didn't like it. Then at next we have Gone in the Night. This at one point was called Cow, and this was terrible. It stars Winona Ryder and Dermot Mulroney as they like check into this how to explain it. So she finds herself at this cabin in the woods, and then all of a sudden her boyfriend disappears, and there's all this like cult stuff, and a big reveal that was just laughable to me. It was really bad. Then we have Polar Bear. This is from Disney Nature, and I'm usually kind of a defender of the Disney Nature films. If you watch any of our Disney ranking videos, yearly ranking videos, I like quite a few of them. But this, they decided to make it in first person, which was so bizarre. So you have the polar bears talking, and yeah, it was really bad. Then next, another one that may be nominated for Best Picture, but I didn't like it, was The Whale. So this movie has one of the most despicable characters I've ever seen in a movie with Sadie Sink's character. The only way to make sense of the portrayal of this character is that she's like a serial killer, because she's so unfeeling, so harsh. And I'm not a big fan of sort of the brooding, sulking teenage archetype, but this was taken to a whole nother level in this movie of just somebody who was just past unfeeling. And it just made the whole experience, I mean, especially her character, but pretty much every character, just miserable. I absolutely hated this movie. It was awful. Next up, I have Love in the Villa, and this is a supposed romantic comedy with absolutely no chemistry between either of the leads, because they spend half the movie trying to kill each other with these pranks, quote unquote pranks. And at one point, she literally almost kills him with his exposing his allergies. And you're supposed to buy that they fall in love. It was very badly done, very badly done. So that was disappointing. Next, I have Dog, and a lot of people really enjoyed this movie, but I thought it was terrible. The comedy was so strained and so flat, and uh, just stuff that I'm like, what? Does anybody think this is funny? Like, I mean, like multiple threesome jokes, and just I guess you can make a good threesome joke, but not here. I mean, the only reason to see this movie is the cute dog, but I need more. I need more than that. I really just was cringing the whole time. Next, we have Men, which is Alex Garland's supposed treatise on women and toxic masculinity. Instead, it was just laughably bad. I love Jessie Buckley so much, but she can't save this despite trying. The big kind of ending set piece is so ridiculous, so cringe. It was terrible. Then next we have Alice. This I saw at Sundance. This was terrible. It's about a woman who's living as a slave and she gets in a fight. She runs away and she finds out that, oh, it's like 1975 or sometime in the 70s, and there's highways and all kinds of stuff. And it was just so badly written. Kiki Palmer tries to do what she can, but there's literally a scene where she absorbs like all of the civil rights movement history through like a binge session on the television. There's a terrible scene with her and Alicia Witt, who is one of the owners of the plantation. It's terrible. So yeah, well-meaning but not good. And of course, everybody knows the worst movie of 2022, one of the worst movies of recent memory, is Robert Zemeckis' version of Pinocchio. Thank goodness we got Guillermo del Toro's version, because that was good. This was terrible. I hated the animation. I hated the character design. I hated the humor. I hated Tom Hanks's performance. I hated that they kind of ruined every moral lesson that's in the story, in the original story. I hated the ending. I hated all of the changes that they made. This movie is gross. I thought it was absolutely terrible and just the most lazy movie making from Disney that I can even imagine. So it was really bad. And I hope I never have to think about it again or see it again. That is my worst movie of 2022. So let me know what you think of my list and which ones you've seen and what you think are the worst movies of 2022. And there were a lot of movies, bad movies this year that I didn't see, like someone like Firestarter or something like that, just because I was a little bit pickier this year than some other years as far as bad movies. So again, let me know what you think, and please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. You can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast on iTunes and also the Patreon group. That's the biggest way that you can support us. Support me. I really appreciate that. And also the merch store. Take a look at that. There's fun hashtag animation junkie shirts. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.